All right, hello and welcome today. So, Ken and I will be discussing some business schemes or business plans. There are different ways that you can start. To start a business is obviously the same. You have to do many things. There's lots of processes you have to go through. However, there are different kind of behind the scenes. What's the basic setup? So first, I want to show you and teach you about the pyramid business scheme, which is actually technically, I believe, illegal in the United States. But there are a lot of loopholes or ways to get around this situation. So let's learn what we shouldn't do to start today. And it's not going to let me. 1 second. I have to get this back up here. Okay. Now it'll let me. Screen share, please. Screen share, please. Talk about technical difficulties. Okay. Business scheme. So it's not exactly in the center. There we go. How's that look, Ken? Good?
Yes, good.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So what I want to talk about is first the pyramid business scheme. You think this is a way to earn lots and lots and lots of money. Okay. So they call this a top down because you obviously start from the top and you go down. Okay. The business plan, which is illegal and normally doesn't have a solid foundation. So I'll get more into that once I show a chart, okay? And so why? So it says this is a way for individuals or big businesses to earn a lot of money with no real products or services. And this is kind of the moral part of this. You need to have a really solid base when you start a business. You think this is a great product, this is a great service, we need to continue this. And so that's how you kind of, build up your empire, they say in English, to start a really good business. Well, in this case, I don't want to say lying to you because maybe they do have some products or services that are great, but they might not last. Yes?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. Did you want to add something?
No, I think it's illegal now here too.
Well, I actually don't necessarily agree with it being illegal, except for the fact for the real products and services. That's kind of the big picture here. So if we look at this beautiful chart.
I heard another word, English word for this. I forgot.
Hi, Rafa. Sorry, I just saw him. A different? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, go. Maybe, anyway, I forgot someone's name who started this business scheme. But anyway, yeah, that's pyramid scheme, what it's called here too. Yes.
Okay, good. So, Rafa, do you want to try unmuting yourself and see if you can talk with us today? Because I couldn't hear you before. Hello?
Hello? Could you hear me right now?
Hi.
Oh.
Yep, I can hear you.
It's so horrible to get the link. I am having a lot of problems, sorry.
Well, no, that's okay. That happens. I'm having problems with my printer, and I was asking Ken. So, no problem. So we're talking about business schemes today. So if you're ever planning on opening a business, today's a really good class for you because you can see different ways that businesses are set up kind of in the background. First, we're talking about the pyramid business scheme, which is actually illegal in some countries, including US and Japan, as we've just found out. So this is the picture. Okay, first you have the person at the top. Okay, this is maybe it depends on the situation. It could be the investor, the person who just gives the money, or it could be the president. Okay, and then later I have a little paragraph about that. In the next part, you have, I guess you'd kind of call them managers. Okay, so they're a little bit higher. I mean, they're a lower standard than the initial president, which is obvious. And then in the third part, you have employees. Okay, then you have more employees at the bottom. Technically, all the blue ones are employees. Now, what's happening here is that these two people, for example, make a profit on either a product or service that or president has invented or has created, etc. So what happens is when these two people make money, what they have to do is give a percentage to the investor, this Mr. Orange Man up here. Okay, so now these two people each recruit two more people, and these people make money, which gives this person money, which makes this person money. And this person basically doesn't do anything. They started the business and that's it. And so once these two people start recruiting other people, for example, this guy has two people, this one has one, and this is just because of the space that I had in here. Okay, but it could be, maybe this person here has 5 recruiters, and each 5 recruiters has 2, 3, or 4 other people under them. So this person will make less profit than this person, and this person will obviously make less profit than this person. And this person just makes a lot of money, not doing anything, okay? And so that's kind of how they make their money. Now, I'm technically not against this scheme. I don't think there's anything really wrong with it. I think it's a really great idea, honestly. What do you two think? And Ken, if you, pyramidal structure, I think is also legal in Spain, probably. There are, like I said, loopholes on how to get around this. And I know actually one business which I was in. I'm not sure if I can say what it is, but what do you two think about this? Do you think it should be illegal or not?
Actually, it has already been illegal. So if the person started this business scheme, it can be arrested, or penalty. So, but business plan similar to this kind of maybe it's available. I don't I don't specific way, but they're selling products, but in this way, this structure too.
But do you think it's morally not right, or why do you think it's illegal? And do you agree or disagree that it's illegal?
The reason why it became illegal because the top person can gain a huge benefit, a huge profit, but lower part of people are sometimes damaged a lot. That's happened a lot. That's why it became illegal, as far as I understand. But some other business plan who mimic this structure, they try not to cause such a huge damage to the lower class, startup, something like that. Also, they are selling actual product to pass the law, probably.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's the whole money situation, I think, is a big part of it, just because they make less money. But it kind of makes sense, just like in any business, if you've been there for a long time, you'll get a raise, you'll get a promotion before the new person, right? I think that's normal. And so technically the scheme doesn't bother me. It's explained. But Rafa, what's your opinion about this? Do you agree or disagree with this?
I think this kind of pyramidal business, it depends what they sell and how the structure could be, because there are a lot of them that they are selling only products. For example, products in order to maintain yourself in shape or to lose weight or something like that. And the bad concept at the end is, for example, you are in the 3rd level of the pyramid, and you need to find out another partners, and in order to buy or to sell the products. This structure, the leitmotif is you need to find more and more people, and in the 4th step they need to find more and more people, and at the end the only result is the enrichment or the top of the pyramid, because there are many people that high level of the pyramid is broke, is for broke, or they have a lot of problems in order to find people to sell the same product, as far as I know.
Okay, so yes. However, if you were the president or investor of this company, you're making a lot of easy money, as we would say it, because you're really not going to be working at that point, right? Everyone below you will be working for you. So what do you think about that?
But finally, they are not working for you. They are selling or buying for you. Mm, mm, and have a shop and you sell the product to every kind of client. And in this way, you can find different clients and send your product to and don't be involved with them in a relationship that if you sell this product a little money and you earn a lot or something like that, and the relationship between customer and sellers are different. If you have a shop, you could your product to everyone and you don't have this kind of business relationship. But if you are in this kind of a structure, you need to find another partner and also to share with them result, and could be dangerous. There are a lot of bans related to this pyramidal, and there are a lot of problems involved business as far as I know.
Okay. Well, and I think you're right here because basically this is a really good structure if there's a good product. So I do agree with that. What normally happens in these situations is that it's not a good product or service. For example, where it says there's no real products or services. And as you said, there's weight loss ones and things like that that have been sued because, are taken to court because they think that they're not right, that this business plan is not, well, it's the pyramid. So basically, as I said before, each level of employee will pay the level above, which eventually leads to all employees paying the initial investor or the president, like I said. Okay. So initially, this is a really good product. This is a really good scheme. Granted, people make less money and things like that. Maybe it's not exactly fair. Now, the problem is here. So if there is an investor, they will get part of the profit, which I said before. The president will get the other part of the profit, which is decided upon between them. As the pyramid goes down, the lower level employees have less benefits, always paying those above them. It's in the recruiter's best interest to have as many people below them as possible. Just like, oops, sorry, going out of control here. Just as we see here, okay? And so you want more people, which, like I said, makes you more money, but makes everyone above you more money as well. So in essence, it's a great scheme. However, it does hurt the bottom level people because after a while, after sales goes down, or maybe there's not as much profit, a regular increased profit, what things happen is these people in line 2, in line 3 start to disappear. Like, well, maybe I'm not making as much money as before. I'm just going to stop. And so they don't work anymore. Then what happens? Then there's no one down here in the last line to be supported by. So that's the problem, is that these people disappear. It all goes away. It just stops. So that's the problem with this. Any other comments on this before we look at different business schemes?
Also, it's a legal service, legal business plan, but the person who working with business style, they vitally invite their friends or it's annoyed people actually. So I was invited a lot, and I listened to the person, but that the person said, don't believe the opinion which is criticize this business scheme. So I saw it dangerous because without criticism, we can get rational, how can I say, idea, rational decision. So I think if the person endures this business style a lot, maybe they will lose a friend, or maybe such things might happen.
Hmm. And that's the other part too, is involving family and friends and things like that, which eventually hurt your real relationships when you're just trying to make some money. So good. And Rafa, do you have any final comments?
Yes, I completely agree with Aka Ken, because if you are involving families and relatives in this kind of project, at the end, finally, you match your relationship, and also your your money incomes with your family could be so dangerous, I think.
Exactly. It's the bottom people get hurt financially. You know, they've just started, they've invested, and then that's it. You know, the business falls apart, so they lose money. And so that's the biggest problem here, I think. You know, as I said, the biggest and most important thing to start a business is the foundation. It's the product or the service. And so now, once you have a product or a service, there are three different ways generally on how you can start a business. So one of the ways is a sole trader. And so Ken, if you'd like, why don't you go ahead and read what it is,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. So trader, what is it? This is where you are the only boss, investor, etc. Depending on the product or service, you will be distributing the products, taking orders, sending and even making the product, or performing the service, such as floor cleaner. However, you could lose your personal savings if the business isn't successful. Why?
Okay, well, that's the next question. So
Okay.
first, let's look at the what is it. So basically, you're the owner, you're everything, okay? Any questions? It's pretty clear as far as I see it. Soul means alone, basically. So soul. And trader is someone who works in business. So, okay. Any questions here? Okay, that means no. So, let's get to the why part. This is pretty short, so I think I'll read this, and Rafa, you can read the next part. So why? Your hard work will pay off. All the profits are yours after paying inventory for the products, for example, the materials, or the time it takes because you need an hourly wage, okay, which you would get as well on top of the profits, or you would just not worry about hourly wages. Or for services such as the floor cleaner, cleaning materials, other machines, products that you need. Okay, so if you can make a product in, I don't know, very quickly, or do kind of an assembly line type of work, or build one part and then do a next step to many products, something like that is probably in your best interest. Rafa, that's probably for me. It's probably going to be in Spanish, right? The article. And so this is, I think, a good idea. Now, what are some of the negatives to being a sole trader? Rafa, you can both speak here.
Well, I think the most important disadvantage could be you are working alone. You don't have a team supporting you. You couldn't share your ideas. Only supporting by yourself. and could be dangerous, and also have another advantages in order to, you can do whatever you want, you can go wherever you want, and you can lead your business in the way that you think, but you are the only guy on the boat, and perhaps it's better to have more people involved in your project.
Okay, and the negative to having more people involved is that you get less profit. So, it depends here on the situation. Did you want to say something, Rafa?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, that's true. I mean, and who's not to say maybe you get so busy that you need another person, so then you hire someone, so then your business changes a little bit. But to start, maybe you just do it yourself and see what happens. And anyway, that's a sole trader. Okay, Ken, any comments before we move to the next type?
Yeah, it's kind of negative point of this is risky because if you lose the business, maybe sometime you might be bankrupt. Also, at pension, there are two style of pension system here. So self employees pension is has how can I say, the company's employees pension uh, system is better actually. So they can self-employed can get less amount of pension in the future. That's also the disadvantage here.
Okay, I'm trying to think. I'm self-employed here in Spain, and I have to pay extra taxes and things like that. So there is a difference. However, I choose my working hours. I do things when I want. So it's a bit different. My service is teaching. If I want to work 20 hours a day, I can work 20 hours. If I only want to work 5 or 2, I can also do that. But that also depends on my profits because I work per hour. So, it depends. It really depends. So I suppose I am a sole trader or freelance or self-employed, you could say, but I don't see myself as this. I'm not working for my service is basically my brain. So what I suppose is with some of the doctors or nurses or psychologists, things like that. So it really depends on the business. Because English will never go out of style. I think learning English will only increase. So I have a really good product, basically. So good. Well, I think it depends on the product here. So moving on to the other type, and one day I will go into more detail about these. These are just kind of the 3 main types, okay? So this is a partnership, and good, so that's the end of that. So Rafa, why don't you go ahead and read about partnerships, okay?
Okay. Partnership. What is it? This type of business relationship is when there are 2 or more people involved in this business. Will be divided equally if each person is involved equally or differently, depending on the amount of time each individual company. This should be discussed before starting the business and big writing on paper and signed by all partners.
Good. So again, this is a partnership. So partners normally means 2, but obviously in this case you can have 3 or 4, depending on how many people are involved, obviously. So in this case, there's less risk. However, there's a lot less profit. All right. So Ken or Rafa, do you have any questions or any comments about this type of business or your opinion compared to the first one? Nobody?
Yeah, I
Yeah?
think as you are telling, is less risk, but also you could have less profitable. But important is at the end of the paragraph. This should be writing. This should be write in a contract. You later on time you don't remember what do you said, what did you say, or what happened. Could be different problems involved in your partnership, and the best way is to have a contract explaining everything at the beginning of your startup company.
Mm-hmm. And I say that only because I've seen, I don't know if it's been in movies or real life, but people who start, business get together, they think, oh, this will be fantastic. Well, when that happens, especially with friends or family, things can get bad. And then you have nothing in writing. One person says one thing, the other person says something different. So who are you supposed to believe? So that's why I said, I wrote in here, make sure everything is written on paper. Even, if it's on a napkin or something, that is, I think we've seen in movies, and people both sign, or all the people sign, that's what you need. That's the most important thing, is that it's written down on paper. Because if there's no proof of anything, I don't think anyone can really win. Ken, do you have anything to say here?
Yes, I think I agree with you all, and maybe to clarify the rule of the partnership is necessary maybe to be fair. Also, it's it's up to the partner you choose. If your partner is not a good match, or such things might happen, but less risk from the first business style. That's the advantage, but we need to be careful about that such contract thing at the beginning or even later. Yeah.
Exactly. And maybe one of the partners is good at the business side, the other one is good at the production. Maybe you have a different partner that's good at marketing, for example. And so it all kind of depends. And that's why I also added that in here. Maybe it's just a partner who wants to make money and doesn't want to be involved in the company. And so all of that should be taken into consideration before you actually get started. Because you think, well, if someone just wants to be an investor, maybe they will make, it depends on the money they put in too. Maybe they make 10%, okay? And the other ones can split the 90% more or less evenly. Whatever they see is fair. And again, the investor might not want that much money, or the investor might want more money. So it completely depends on the situation, but you must write everything down.
Right.
So let's take a look at this next part again. This one's a little bit longer. Ken, why don't you read this for us, okay?
Okay. Why, if you don't have enough money to invest in a product service, you can earn less money but not have all the weight of the business on your shoulders. You can get help, and there are other ideas from your partners as well, which can improve the business over time, which generates more profit in the long run.
Exactly. If you, like I said, the base is the most important. The base is the product or service. If it's not good, then your business will not succeed. Now, what do we all want with a business so it can grow and get better? At least make a lot of money. I don't want to say too much money, but enough money that you are happy, content. You don't have to worry about spending money on whatever. And so, if you have different ideas, or your partners, if you're in different areas, maybe the marketing person says, hey, it's really cheap to advertise on this or this way, or something like that. So, having more partners is kind of a good idea. See, Rafa, I think his computer wasn't working. Yeah, it was hard to hear him for a little bit. So I think it's, hey, Rafa. So I think it's a really good idea to see the other ideas. We're all different. We all have different ideas. even in the same situation, we could come up with probably 20 or 30 different ways of doing it. So it's always good to get new ideas from other people. Okay. Any
Yeah,
other comments with this one, with the partnership?
yeah. That's another advantage of being a partner, because the partner bring a new idea, new parent of the business. That's advantage. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Good. Rafa, any comments? Okay, doesn't look like it. The only thing I was thinking here now is that the only difference might be, for example, I come up with a product and then I want to have, employees or partners, to help with the investment and things like that to get it set up. If it's my idea, the product or service, whatever it is, should I make more money than everybody else? What do you think about that?
I think that's you mean that one person can gain the more profit than others, right?
Right, because maybe just a little bit, like 2-3% or something, but is it fair if they came up with the idea or the product?
So maybe it should be written or decided beforehand. That's better, because a lot of business style or the band broke up because of that reason, actually. So,
Well, exactly. And so that's the idea is, what do you think about this, Kat? It should be written down, but do you agree or disagree?
mm, actually, I think as an observer, maybe for example, the band that somebody wrote a song and the lyrics can get, actually technically they can get more profit than others. But some bands they decided all equal profit policy, even though who wrote the song, the members can get profit the same amount of money from the activity of the band. And it's up to, how can I say, maybe it's less troublesome, but maybe the band members who wrote the song, maybe he or she might feel bad for that. Maybe they would leave the band. So it's very difficult, sensitive problem, actually.
Well, and I'm thinking maybe if everyone, tried to write a song, if everyone was at least trying, I think that would be more equal. As far as the lyrics, I've never thought of it like that. Someone in a band writes a song, 3-4 other people are in the band, and they just play. They learn how to play it and they play. If it's a huge success, obviously we'd give more credit to the person who wrote the song. As far as financially, that's a good question, because some people are naturally creative, and I don't think, someone who's unnaturally creative would have obviously a harder time with that. So I think it just, a person that is just unable to think of songs or to write songs could maybe market differently or think of different ideas, and so that you all play an extra part together. I think that's the most important thing, is that you all collaborate together, you work together, and do it for the success of the band. So that's interesting. That's an interesting aspect. Rafa, do you have any questions or comments about that? I guess writing a song and more money.
Yes, I completely agree with you, because many times, at least in my humble opinion, that if you are working alone, perhaps you have more control of the situation, you have more control about the business. But if you want to be more creative, you need to work with another partner. You could be more creative writing a song, writing a lyric, and also in other kind of business you have more perspective. If you are two in the boat, if you are three on the boat, if you are working on team, you could be more creative than you are working alone. I think I completely agree with you.
That's good. Well, I never thought of a band being a business, but I suppose they're there to make money. So That does make sense. And with that, let's take a look at this last part. This is a limited company. Again, there are subgroups of these. So Rafa, I know it's not very long, but go ahead and read this for us, okay?
Yeah. Limited company. What is it? This is when you set up your own company from your personal savings. The assets of the company would be taken as payment if in that are not successful. Why?
Okay, so the basic idea is that when you start up your own business, the business itself will basically sustain itself. So you will not need, you don't put it with, oh, I'm just going to start my own business. The name is my, or the company is my name, for example, and you mix it with your personal accounts. It's one of the differences with this one compared to the first one. The sole trader mixes their personal account with their business. This is making it completely separate. So it's a limited company. Okay, so I can be my own limited company if I decide to start a business, give it a specific name, etc. Okay, so now if something goes bad, you personally don't suffer. However, all of the assets, any machinery you have, if you go bankrupt and you can't pay your bills, you're not making money, then you'll have to sell, or the state might just take your products, all the products to sell, or the machinery, the materials, anything and everything that the company's worth, just to make that money back. So, for taxes and things like that. Any questions with this in the first one?
No.
Okay. Well, let me go down here on the page. All right. Good. So, Ken, do you just want to read this last little part, please?
Okay. Why? This is a good option for someone who invests a lot into their company, but will not have personal financial problems with the debt if the company isn't successful.
Good. Okay, so there's kind of a good one here too. Now, as far as taxes and things and paperwork, I'm sure this one's a little bit more difficult than just the sole trader option, because this has different risks, and it's actually better for you, but I'm sure it's more expensive to start this kind of a company than the first one. Okay, so let me actually just, any other questions or comments about this before I take off the...
The word financial, which is common to pronounce?
Financial.
Financial, okay.
Financial. And then this word is debt, D-E-B-T, debt. We do not pronounce.
Yes. Debt.
Yep, when there's a B and then a T, the B we do not pronounce. Well, perfect. So let me stop this and let's have a little discussion. Where is this? Stop. Okay, there it is. Stop screen sharing. Okay, so what do you think about this? Is there anything that you would personally choose? If you had to start a business, is there one specific that you would like to choose? But we're not going to be business owners or anything, that's fine. Do you think one has more of a benefit than another? Rafa?
I think the most interesting way to this with it risky could be the limited company, because all financial personal safe, but many the way that they began is more with solid I don't remember, solid trader,
Sole trader.
And they began hard by this way, sole trader, and later, if the company could be successful, they began to have more partners, or perhaps to do this kind of pyramidal structure. Now could be more dangerous, but they finally they could arrive to United company could is the more safer.
Mm-hmm.
I am thinking in big companies at Yahoo or that began in this way, and other companies in my country that begins at the idea with a sole trader and later become more bigger, and
Mm-hmm.
as limited company.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think again, I think it totally depends on the product. You know, if you can actually make the product, or maybe the product is software and all you have to do is copy it onto a CD and then send it to somebody, so that you can do yourself or something like that. So it definitely depends on the product. But and as I said, there are subgroups as well. So in a different class, we'll look at kind of more of those aspects and what's different and things like that. But these are the three basic ones. You know, to work for yourself, work in a partnership, or have your personal and business separate. So, Ken, do you have any comments? Is there one that you like best? One you think that would be better if you open a business?
Maybe if I have enough, how can I say, capital to start a limited company, I think it's the riskiest is the word. Riskiest. Sorry. Most risk-free. I mean, I don't know the proper word for that, but other type of business is, is somewhat risky, but I know the separation of the finance, personal finance and company's finance, it's it's the most safe way to start business among these business styles, schemes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the only thing there is that it's going to cost more. I just know it will, because what doesn't cost more if there's more benefits? So that's something you have to take into consideration. You think, well, how long, what's the difference of being a sole trader or the limited company? And is it worth it? Is it not worth it? So there's a lot of questions. And like I said, it just depends on the product. So good. And so would either of you start a business one day or not? Ken? Would you start?
Maybe I don't have a talent about that, so, but anyway, yeah.
I'm sure you have some kind of a talent.
But also I need to know a lot of things about legal issue, or especially starting company, limited company. I need to not only getting a capital, but also I need to know a lot of legal issues about that.
Yeah, that's very true. And honestly, I have all my paperwork in a place that does everything for me, kind of like an agency. So I don't have to worry about that, which is fantastic. I just turn in all of my expenses and they do all the paperwork, and that's it. So that to me is worth it, because I hate paperwork. And being from a different country in Spain is not very fun with paperwork. So good. Any other comments, Ken, before I ask Rafa for his last comment?
No, I know. I somewhat know. It is very hard and difficult. Yes, very complicated. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, good. And so, Rafa, any final comments? Would you ever start a business? Would you like to?
I would like to begin a new business, but as you are saying before, there are a lot of paperwork in my country in order to start
Yeah.
A new company, even though it's going better every year, but there are a lot. You need to have a lot of knowledge about legal issues, finance, taxes, and things like that. But the most important thing could be to have to have the good idea in order to have a good product that you are saying before, or to have a good service. A difficult item to find out, how, what is the good idea in these times.
Well,
Think
that's when you
about it.
test it on friends and family and have them, try the product. Does it work? And are there any problems? Anything that you can improve? So that, I think, would be kind of the easier part of it. For example, is talking to friends and family about, hey, can you use this product? Tell me what you think. Things like that. Or depending on the product, you could give it away for free, maybe in the street with the, the condition that people tell you about it after they use it. So there's a testing period. I'm sure there's all of these, these rules and regulations about if it's a health product, if it's something that you eat, or if it's just topical, if it goes maybe on your skin or your face. There have to be many, many different rules and regulations. So yeah. Sorry, Rafa, any other final comments?
No. I recommend you be careful with your new business. Because there are a lot of them that have different problems, and congratulations for you.
Well, it's been a year. Actually, I'm a self-employed person. However, I work for a company, so I'm safe. I'm not just, my own little teacher here. So I do have some reinforcement, and it makes sense. And I'm making more money. I've been, in Spanish, it's autónoma. I've been self-employed for just over a year now, so it's going pretty well. So I can't complain. But I'm very lucky, I do have to say. Here in Spain, it's very difficult. In Spain, out of Europe, we pay the most taxes and everything for self-employed people. It's terrible. So Spain definitely needs to look at those regulations a little bit better, and hopefully we can make even more money. So for now, that is basically it. I'm glad we had this talk and discussion, and glad that it went well. Hopefully we've learned something today. I don't have my agenda near me at the moment. It's over there. So all I know is that we're doing grammar next week, on Wednesday, I should say. So come for a good, and it's advanced grammar. So it should be pretty interesting, okay? That's it. So everyone go enjoy your Monday. Rafa, it's time for you to eat lunch, and Ken, probably time for you to rest before going to bed, right?
No, it's
see you on Wednesday.
it's 9 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, yeah. I go to the supermarket to buy some food.
Well, perfect.
Yeah, it's time
Well,
now.
very good then. So then time for dinner. So perfect. Well, thanks for joining, and hopefully we will see you on Wednesday, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.